Hi everybody, I'm here to have a chat with Louise today on HR topics, and we're going to pick up today about a couple of basic things. Well, hi Louise.
Hi.
Hiya.
Mhm.
So I know obviously as a business owner, all the team need to have contracts of employment, the basics from that point of view. But I must admit, I'm a bit fuzzy about the handbook. Obviously, we have a contract and a handbook, but what kind of thing, why do we have a handbook? And sort of what kind of things should be in it.
Yeah. It's funny you should say that because you say contracts of employment are the basic and everybody should have one. But actually, what I find when I go into organisations is that often gets forgotten.
Okay.
So we do have to issue contracts of employment on day one of employment,
Mm-hmm.
and that's really important. And so often in the melee of getting somebody recruited and inducted and welcomed into the team, it can get forgotten. So that is really important.
And what's the pitfalls if they don't do that?
Well, I mean, it, ultimately, there are no great pitfalls other than if there is a claim in the future at a tribunal, if you don't have a contract of employment, they can award up to a week's pay for failure to issue a contract of employment.
Okay.
So that is a risk. A greater risk from my side is that you'll often find, I don't know, 6, 12, 24 months into employment, somebody will go, but that's not what they're supposed to be doing. Like, all right, well, where's it written down? Well, they ain't got a contract. And that's your issue.
Okay.
Because the benefit of issuing the contract, other than it should be issued, is that it makes it clear for everybody what are you expecting from that person and what you're going to give them in return.
Mm-hmm.
So a contract of employment is really about you and me.
Mm-hmm.
What am I going to give you? What are you going to give me? Your handbook is your rule book. It covers everything else that you want to happen in your organisation. So some of the policies will be legislative policies that you have to have, which probably you'll never use. You
Mm-hmm.
have to have them. They're important to be in there just in case we need them. But a large section of your handbook will be about your business and what you want to happen. So if somebody wants to book a holiday, how much notice do you want? If somebody's going to be off sick, who do they ring? When do they ring them?
Mm-hmm.
If you've got something that's really important to you, like wearing branded clothing, what happens when that person leaves? Do they have to hand it back? So it's all the things that are important to your business. And when I go out to do a handbook review with somebody, often there's lots of places you can get handbook and just print it off the internet and slot it onto the shelf. And to be honest with you, it'll gather dust and probably nobody will ever read it.
Mm-hmm.
But I always think what's really important with a handbook is it represents your business.
Shows your brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's in your terminology. So it's the words we use, like for example, lots of them will say a director, a director, a director. But actually if the person that does most of the stuff in your business day to day with staff is your operations manager, then that's what it should say, because
Mm-hmm.
that's what we're used to talking about in business. So so the contract is very much personal. The handbook is your rule book, and it should represent your company as well as covering all the legislative things you need to cover.
Yeah. Oh, that's fun. Yeah. Really useful. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. Hopefully you found that useful, guys, and we'll see you again next time. Bye bye.